Breaking news that's now coming in, and this is in connection with the India meeting that is taking place in Mumbai, the one that we will be speaking of. There is consensus as far as the coordination panel is concerned. That's the latest that we are gathering. A 13-member coordination panel has now been formed by the India bloc. Names of joint committee of the Aghadi, the India alliance is something that we've now accessed here. No coordinator is going to be appointed, so there is going to be no one particular head of this particular panel is what we're now learning. Venugopal, Sharad Pawar, Stalin, Sanjay Rao, Tejasvi Yadav, Raghav Chadha, Lallan Singh, Hemant Soren, D. Raja, Omar Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti are some of the members of this particular panel. So a 13-member coordination panel that has now been formed. Does this mean there is going to be no convener at all? That's something that we will have to get more details on. Sharon, my colleague, joining us. Vinay and Pallavi will join us shortly as well. Sharon, we now have details of this 13-member coordination panel that has been formed. What exactly is going to be the purview of this panel?
Well, this is something that was announced in the last second round of meeting that was held in Bengaluru, that it is now time for the India Alliance to come up with a committee. Now, it is going to be a 11-member committee, but now that the list is out and the list that is with CNN News 18 says that there are going to be 13-member committee in this particular committee. As of now, they have not announced the convener. There is no announcement of the deputy convener as well. Remember, the sources within the Congress party has also been telling us that they are trying to speak to the other parties so that a consensus could be reached on the convener. And the Congress party sources also suggest that they are very much thinking that anyone from the Congress party should be the convener, and in case there are issues with other parties, say for example if TMC has an issue with that, then probably they will give the position of deputy convener to that particular party. But as of now, the announcement of the convener and deputy convener has not been announced. But as far as the committee members are concerned, there are in fact 13 members who are part of this committee that include Sharad Pawar, Stalin, Sanjay Rao, Tejasvi Yadav, Abhishek Banerjee, Raghav Chadha, Javed Khan, Lallan Singh, Hemant Soren, D. Raja, Omar Abdullah, Mehbooba Mufti. So all the parties have in fact been, though there are 28 parties that are part of this third round of meeting that is being held in Maharashtra, but in this committee, almost 13 of them have been included. That includes the RJD, the SP, the JDU, the Left, the Congress, the TMC. So accommodating all of them as part of the committee has in fact been done, but now we have to wait and watch for whether there will be any sort of decision as far as the convenership is concerned. Who is going to be the convener is something that will be interesting to watch for. Today is in fact the main day, the important day where they will be revealing the logo as well. Apart from that, the committee has now been formed. So whether a decision on the convener will be made is something that we have to look for, Poonam.
Right, that decision has to be taken by the India bloc that is in a huddle in Mumbai. Vinaya, my colleague, also reporting live from outside that meeting venue. Vinaya, we've accessed the list of this coordination committee. No convener so far, no co-convener either. Whether this coordination committee in itself is going to be having a leader or not, we don't have any details of that as well. No clarity on that either.
Well, absolutely. In fact, we had been speaking about this, that, the convener was particularly an issue that was in contention, and that's why we had heard from sources from within the India bloc as well that there might not be any decision with respect to convener this time on, because remember, it's a larger than life kind of a role. It has an important significance to it when it comes to what kind of responsibilities will the convener handle, and looking at the fact that the India bloc is looking at making appointments that are pretty much permanent on basis. The convener issue was something that was extremely well deliberated upon. The Congress had also indicated that it will possibly not put forth its own names with respect to those who will be a part of who will be in the race for convener. So on that background, we are seeing that the issue of convener, which was anyway going to be on the back burner because of the differences that were being seen, will continue to be deliberated upon here onwards. That's an important decision though that will have to be taken in the coming few days at least, is what India bloc maintains, because even while the bloc says that it will be the Central Coordination Committee, which will take care of several core issues of coordination that will come up among the several regional forces. The fact that a convener will still play a critical role is still being separated. So it is not like a Central Coordination Committee will take care of all the responsibilities and thereby there is no need of the convener. These are two separate issues is what sources indicate to us right now. And so while the Central Coordination Committee, which has now been appointed, this was something that was expected to happen by today afternoon itself, but the deliberations on who the convener will continue. Initially there were names that were being circulated with respect to say Mallikarjun Kharge or Sharad Pawar, but yesterday several top sources indicated that there were nothing more than speculations at this point in time, giving away the fact that the discussions over the issue of convener are not yet over, that this is something over which the contentions will continue to remain, and that the regional forces will also possibly play a bigger hand now with respect to who the conveners will be. Back to you.
Right, but one hurdle has been crossed. Pallavi also joining us on this broadcast. For now, at least one thing that consensus has been built on is the coordination panel that has been formed. Apart from the smaller parties in this entire alliance, all of the other bigger parties that have a major strength both in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha find representation in this panel, isn't it?
In fact, all the constituents of the India front are very much a part of this committee. So the main job of this committee, what has been told to us, is to decide on seat sharing, because that's going to be the most tricky affair as far as the India front opposition unity talks is concerned. What's interesting is you have KC Venugopal, who's also organization general secretary in charge, but no one from the Gandhi family. They've completely kept themselves out of this coordination committee. Neither Sonia Gandhi nor Rahul Gandhi are very much a part of it. The senior most, of course, happens to be Mr. Sharad Pawar. So I guess it will be prevailing upon him to ensure that any tricky issue which needs to be ironed out, at least his is the voice which is most likely going to be heard by all. We've been talking about convener. If you notice, no convener has been appointed. So it's trying to stay away from any kind of a contentious issue. The whole idea of a convener is required because someone heads the committee, but also that has become mired in a lot of controversy with many people demanding that top job as far as formation of this committee is concerned, and there was a possibility by default whoever is made the convener would be deemed to be the face of the India front. At least that's how the BJP would have looked at it. I think that is a difference which they really don't want to get into now, though what we were reporting last night also, every political party was expected to give their recommendations about who should become the convener. So no unanimity or consensus on that seems to have emerged. Interesting and not very surprising, 13-member committee. Priority number one, of course, is going to be ensure better coordination among themselves to ensure no friction takes place when the real nitty-gritty of seat sharing formula begins.
Absolutely, and that is when the uphill battle is going to begin for this entire alliance, because that's really where this coordination committee is going to have its most challenging job to ensure that each party gets the seats that they want but do not ruffle too many feathers in the alliance as well. Vinaya, Pallavi and